had the privilege of knowing him for 10 years now. We first met actually in India because we've organised meditation retreats for young people over there, and just one of those people that, as you will see through the night, though I'm not sure if it was the catchy topic that he had for the talk or his credentials that have pulled you here, but either way, you're in for a very good night. Very warm, entertaining, and wise speaker. So I personally am looking forward to listening to what he has to say. So thank you very much, Prakash. Hopefully you can use this properly.
Help me put it up.
Danny.
Otherwise, I'm giving a bad image to this poor guy. Really, I deserve the credit for this.
Okay.
Does that look better? Yes. Just the volume now.
Okay. I think it's okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
In the back?
Yes.
Wonderful. Good evening once again. I was hoping to have a response. Okay, good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much. I like the pause. The silence was like, what's happening or coming next? Okay, so it's a privilege and opportunity, and I'm very glad to be in front of this gathering. There's a lot of things that I'm going to speak about which you already know. And the beauty of it is that you're not going to listen to something new. So then why is it that you come to listen to something that you already know? Because there's a difference between knowing, this knowledge, and doing, which is wisdom. And they say that repetition is the mother of perfection. So it's good to actually have a review and a revision of something that I have a strong feeling you already know. But by going through once again, it's going to really refresh you, and we're going to see how we're going to make it more applicable today. How many of you feel that you have a far greater potential in yourself to do things in terms of whatever you're doing than what you're actually currently operating at? Oh, fantastic. How many of you would like to actually have lesser stress in your life? Okay, I see some hands not up. So probably you might be thinking, well, Prakash, I don't want lesser stress, but I want no stress in my life. I hope so. How many of you would like to experience more peace, love, and happiness in your life? Yes, good, thank you. So that's everyone in the room. And nice to see that usually when I actually have certain chats and talks with my friends back in the Gulf, which is where I come from, in Dubai, they too raise their hands for all these questions. So yes, they are some universal experiences and feelings that all of us connect to. We all know that there's much more we can achieve. What do you think then is holding us back and causing us more stress, or not allowing us to experience more peace in our lives, more happiness and love?
Fear.
Fear of? Fear of rejection. Others, okay.
Old habits.
Certain old habits that we have, certain old ways of doing things, certain old patterns of thinking. What we hear other people tell us, that probably doesn't let us feel as peaceful as we want to be, doesn't help us operate like we want to do. Great. What else?
Being too nice to people.
Being too nice to people. I like that one. It's different. So being too nice to people does not let you do what?
Like it adds more stress.
It adds more stress. Okay, that's a nice way. We need to understand more there. Good. What else? Okay, motivation. So the lack of motivation. I'm not motivated enough. Is that what holds me back? And why I'm not motivated? Stress. Okay, so we go back to that. Okay, good. I got a few ideas from you, and I would like to summarize them in three things.
Just challenges, life challenges. There are
Challenges.
challenges that we are,
So-
that can come into our life.
So it could be professional challenges at workplace, it could be life's challenges, personal challenges, financial, economical, it could be relationship challenges, anything that could be, something to do with your health. Yes, these are certain things that could obviously come and they probably stop us from achieving something that we know we can, we're capable of. We have it, but we're not able to do it. So I've summarized that in three different categories. One is the self. It could be motivation, it could be some challenges of self, it could be our old ways of thinking, or it could be some patterns that I've generated over myself. But the self, one thing that we need to really understand better and accept in a different way today, which is what we're going to see, how that word called acceptance, the virtue of acceptance, can really help me to actually resolve 99, if not 100% of the problems that we actually have. Interesting, isn't it? Wow. Okay, so then, so it's going to have a lot of answers to you, but it's also going to open up a lot of questions. I think that's important for us. So answers, but then we need to really have more questions, and that's going to help us really to explore further and get answers, definitely. But here's a word we're talking about, a virtue that's really a very interesting virtue that you can see how we can really solve most of the problems we have. So self is one issue we have. We've got to learn how to accept ourselves, others, accepting others, and situations around us, challenges that will come, which not necessarily from myself or from people, but they could be somewhere out there that we have these situations. Usually what happens is we have these issues, we have these challenges from outside, from other people, and we try to control those things, right? So we try to control and to try and see how I can, in some way, change those things around us. And that's where the resistance comes. And that's where more and more pressure builds into my own self. We start trying to change things which I have absolutely no control over. And I do not change those things which I have absolute control over. So I'm accepting the things that I can control and change and not doing anything about it. And I'm not accepting things which I should actually start accepting. So let's try and see these three areas and how we can actually start using acceptance to help me resolve a lot of these issues. Let's start with the self first and see what do I need to do about and understand about the self. When you talk about the self, I remember a story of Wilma Rudolph. How many of you have heard of her? Wilma Rudolph? Wilma Rudolph, okay. An interesting person. She ran the Summer Olympics in 1955. Guess where? Melbourne, Australia. 1956? Okay, thank you so much. Sorry about that. They do know? You know Wilma Rudolph now?
No, just
1956. Okay, because it happened here. Okay. That was a long time back. How do you remember? Okay, good. Oh, wonderful. What happened was Wilma Rudolph went back with a gold medal. She was from the USA. Now, what's so big about that? She was born to a family of 22 children, and she had various challenges. She was born with polio. And the doctors had told her that, Wilma, you were not born to walk. She challenged what he had told to her. He said, well, I probably was not born to walk. I was born to run. And she really worked on herself. Everybody in her school told her, wow, you got polio, you're not going to be able to run, you're not going to walk, but she worked on herself. Her parents supported her, of course, in seeing how she got the right treatment, and she was so ready to work on herself and to reject everything that others told her, to accept only something that she told herself, which was that I want to run and I want to be the fastest woman on earth. So 1956, she'd had this, and then she was in the Olympics after that, about 4 years later, and she won 3 gold medals, and she was proclaimed to be the fastest woman on earth. And that was for a woman who had various challenges in her life. But she was able to accept the voice that came from inside. She was not listening to what others had to say. And I'm sure we have so many other stories of people who have actually done the same, where they've been able to believe in themselves, they've been able to accept what they have to say and not take on others. So usually when you look at acceptance, it works in 2 ways. If you accept something, you automatically let go of something else. You accept the good, what happens? You automatically let go of the bad. You accept the positive, you let go of the negative. So when you talk about this, to see how we can get the best from the self, there's something called intrinsic and the extrinsic self. This extrinsic self is something we all know. That's visible. That's made up of a lot of things that are ever changing. It could be in terms of my age, it could be in terms of my the profession that I have, the qualification that I have, in terms of my beauty, the way I look, all these things. It's extrinsic, ever changing. And usually most of the people look at us at an external level, and that's how they start tagging us and labeling us. Look at myself and see, well, is that me truly? So I'm not good enough is what people will tell me. You are not going to be able to do this. You're not peaceful. You are angry. You are very short-tempered. You have this shortcoming. You have this problem. You have this weakness. And as you mentioned it, sometimes over here, what other people tell me, I start taking that on, and that's what I start believing. And I actually forget who I truly am intrinsically. So who am I really intrinsically? And I'll let you know this very interestingly. And this is what I want you to accept. Many times I say, I want to be more peaceful. I will become more peaceful when I get that house, when this person behaves with me in this way, when so-and-so starts accepting me, when they speak good words about me, I will be more peaceful. I will be more happy when I receive that car. I will be more happy when I can buy that. And that's something that I want you to reject today, and I want you to accept. Not that I will be happy, but I am happy. When?
Now.
Just at this very moment. You're sitting over here, such a beautiful evening, such a great night. Is it difficult to think I am happy?
No.
It's, yeah. Who's stopping you? That's the problem with acceptance. If you truly accept anything, you would immediately have an experience of it. From acceptance comes experience, and from experience, you start becoming. But what's the first stage? The first step is to accept it. It's easy to accept when people tell me, hey, Prakash, you're very angry. Hey, you are a very egoistic person. But when someone suggests to you that, you know what, intrinsically, you are peaceful. We have a lot of experiences of peace, right or wrong. We have a lot of experiences of happiness, right or wrong. We have, wrong? We have experience of happiness? Sometimes. Yes, we do have it. We do have it. Okay, and we want more of it? We like to have it more constantly. The question that we need to ask ourselves is, where does that come from? You're sure it comes from inside?
Attitude.
It's from the attitude of self. Are you sure it's not from that beautiful BMW that I drive? Well, we think we probably believe it is, or it's from that wonderful pizza that I eat. That's what gives me the happiness and peace. Chocolate makes me happy. Lovely, yeah. So we start believing that when I have something, then I experience peace. When I have this, I have happiness. When someone says, does this to me, I have love. So I automatically start letting others make this happen to me. And when they do it, then that's a trigger actually, to see that actually it's inside of me. That's the real cause. For example, let's say you love chocolates. Very nice. Anytime I eat the chocolate, happiness like never before. Now you're going to have the same chocolate, and then someone gives you this information that, hey, Mike, guess what? I say, what happened? Your brother's just met with an accident. He's far away, you can't do anything about it. Just pray for him. I hope everything goes well. You have the same chocolate and you put it inside your mouth, what happens? Do you experience that happiness?
No.
But, like math, if 2 plus 2 was 4, no matter where it is, it always would be 4. So if that chocolate was what gave me happiness, or if that BMW gave me happiness, then it has to give that to me every time I have it, possess it, taste it, drive it. So therefore, it's an absolute obvious understanding that it doesn't come from there, but it's inside. And I choose to be happy. Yes, and I love chocolates. And somebody comes and says, hey, here's this chocolate. It's not very easy for you to say, well, thanks, and I feel very nice. Right? It takes me time. So where was it all? Inside. And a very big component of that is my thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor way back, and a very philosopher, he said the quality of the happiness in your life depends on the quality of your house and car. No, just checking if you're paying attention. He said the quality of the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Of your thoughts. If you can have your thoughts in a good quality, you've got happiness. That's why they say peace is just a thought away. It doesn't take too long for me to actually be peaceful. It's here, it's just a thought. And what's a thought? Simple. I am. That's what we've got to accept. That I am peaceful. It's always been inside. But I conditioned it, saying that I will be if and when. That's my own conditioning. I probably learned from my parents, from my parents' parents, from my grandparents, whatever, but I learned it over a period of time that I will when I get this. And I also learned it from something that we are quite exposed to these days. Media and Hollywood and Bollywood. Right? So that's how we conditioned it. And we've now started believing it. And then when somebody comes and says, Prakash, you are peaceful, I find it difficult to accept. I said, I don't think so. Am I? Of course you are. It's like that princess who is in search for her necklace. The whole kingdom's out there searching for the necklace. Finally, the prince returns and just looks at her and says, well, we tried, we couldn't. But hey, by the way, what's that on your neck? And so looks in the mirror and says, oh, well, wow, this was what I was looking for. All the while here. And it's interesting to see that what we need the most in our lives, what's the main reason for whatever we are doing today, is just so close to us, but it's so elusive. We just find it so difficult to actually experience it. Because of that simple thing of acceptance. We're not able to accept it. The moment I accept it, 100% there is an experience. There's no way you can't experience it if you accept it. And then there is the becoming from there on. So let's try an experiment over here. Can you think about a quality? Any quality that resonates with you? It could be peace, love, happiness. It could be truth. It could be honesty. It could be power, inner strength. Whatever a quality that you have, it could be beauty, right? I want you to think about it. Yeah, can you all think of one quality at least? It could be two.
Honesty.
Okay, honesty. Okay.
So it's like creativity.
Creativity, beautiful. Okay. Now, I want you to think about what that means to you. Just think about the meaning of that quality. What does that mean to you? Take a moment. Okay, good. Now, you mind talking to each other? Do you mind talking to each other? You don't, right? You like to talk to each other? All right, so share the quality with your neighbor and tell them what is the meaning of it, please. In less than a minute. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. It's difficult to stop when I stop. Nice. Good camaraderie. Second question. If you were to create a picture of this quality, what would that be? A picture, a symbol, an image? What would that be? Okay, think of it, and in about 10 seconds, you can share that with your partner. What is that image that comes to your mind? Okay, thank you. Thank you. That was a brief one. Just similar to share. Yeah. Now, third question. This is an important one. When was the last time that you had experienced this quality? Good. When was the last time? I'd like you to think about that time when you actually experienced it. Very nice. Okay, if it was today, yesterday, a week back, a year back, a month back, definitely would have had an experience of it. Okay, so just to save time, I'll not make you share that, but this is what I want you to do now. I want you to tell this to yourself, because you've experienced it, you know what it means, you have a quality, you have a symbol for it, and therefore your acceptance level now is larger or no? You accept it more now? Yes, is that not a part of you? Yes, it is. Otherwise, it's very difficult to make sense of it, to have an image of it, and to have experienced it before. So it's there inside. That's why you have these three things. Now, I want you to do one thing. I want you to think about, just make a sentence, make a statement to yourself. So I, Prakash, that's my name, I, Prakash, am peaceful, which means to have that serene feeling when I'm in front of the blue sky, whatever it could be for you. I want you to create a sentence for yourself. Not very long, but say 8 to 10 words. Please use your name there. I, Prakash, am peaceful. Not will be, not wants to be, but I am. I, Prakash, am peaceful. One sentence. Did anyone get a sentence? I mean, ideally we could write it, but no problem. You don't have things to write.
Using the one that.
Using the quality that you just thought about. Yes, please. Yes? Did everyone get it?
Yeah.
You frame that statement, that sentence? Okay, so I want you to repeat it once in your mind. Just read that out in your mind. I want you to do it the second time, and I want you to go a little slower. Slow down the speed when you repeat that sentence in your mind. I want you to do the third time, and I want you to go even more slower, and I want you to focus on the meaning and the essence of that quality. And the last time, go even more slow, very slow. And this time you are actually just experiencing it more than repeating the sentence. Okay, thank you. How do you feel?
I need chocolate.
Sorry, you don't need the chocolate now. You are happy, yes? Okay, thank you. How does everyone feel? Did you experience it? Now, do you accept that I am? Beyond doubt, you are. Yes? So, that's the shift. That's the acceptance. And peace, love, happiness, power. These are our intrinsic qualities. They are us. We are them. There's nothing about we want. That doesn't mean that you don't have to have good places to live in and nice cars to drive. Yes. But we should really understand the source. We should understand where does that experience really come from and the right identity. Otherwise, we will try our, we will probably spend our entire energies, all our life, going behind all those things that we believe give us this. And they might for a very short period of time, until they're probably new, but then they will not last for very long. But if you know where they are from, and if I know that, hey, just need to accept it, that I am, and experience it. Wow, such a large burden off your shoulder. So I am. I am. The quality that you have in your mind, you are.
As a lecturer of all this, what have you found is the main thing that stops people from having that access to that spiritual awareness all the time, rather than using things to facilitate it being brought forward? Like people being creative or...
Yeah.
What's the main thing that blocks people from accessing it all the time?
I think it's two things. It's conditioning.
Can you repeat the question?
Sorry?
Repeat the question.
Okay, the question is what's holding us back from actually having that experience over a period of time constantly?
Without triggers. Without triggers, just as an everyday thing.
Without triggers as an everyday thing. Yes, interesting one. So, well, it's good. It's usually the patterns that we have actually created, which are counter to what those experiences are. So we have conditioned ourselves already, and that's become a pattern for us. And just as we made that a pattern, we've got to shift that and make this a pattern. And that's interesting because if we start doing this over a period of time, and we start accepting and therefore, as I said, experiencing this time and again, you become it. And then it is something that you don't need the triggers after that. You are it. The idea is to first accept and then keep experiencing it. So you got to keep, so initially the triggers are important. Initially you keep checking and changing, keep seeing, what's the thought that comes to my mind? Oh, I want that and I'll be peaceful. Hey, stop. I am peaceful. I still will get that. I still will go there, but I am peaceful. That's not the source. I am. So I think it's initially you start checking and changing, and if you keep doing that over a period of time, so I think the first thing is accept, and then repeated experience of it creates a habit and it becomes you. Okay? Okay, good. So we move on to the next part, which is others. When it comes to other people, interesting, right? Very important. We say, Prakash, I'm a very peaceful person. For myself, it's okay. I am peaceful. I accept that. And I'm always peaceful, except when it comes to this person. I'm a happy guy. If it was not for this person in my life, if only my boss was a little bit better, if my spouse was more understanding, or if my children were a little bit more obedient, wow, that would have been the life I want, right? So now, what happens there again? We are conditioning, we're falling trapped to conditions of, hey, is it there or is it here? So you go back to this place knowing that I am. It's not from here that it comes. But nevertheless, when we have issues, it's very important for us to realize this. If there's one thing that you can control absolutely 100%, that's here. And if there's one thing that you cannot control even any percentage of, it's the other person. They say you can coax a person, you can motivate a person, you can inspire somebody, you could request them to do certain things. You might even sometimes blackmail them. If you're a little more aggressive, you might terrorize them, but you just cannot control them at all. So that's a very important clarity we need to have in our mind, that I cannot control anybody else. They will eventually do and behave and be the way they want to. So I focus on myself. But what do? I understand the difference between agreeing and accepting. I may not agree with them, but I need to accept them. And that's the difference. Many times I start rejecting them because I don't agree with them. I don't agree with you and therefore I don't like you. I don't agree with you and therefore I don't need you. Now when you say and you reject this person, you know what you're actually doing? You're holding in your head something which is called friction, that is resistance, that is hatred, that is animosity, some negative feeling that you carry with you and you do not accept that person. Many times you say, listen, I really don't care, I want to forget this person, but I can't, it's their mind. Why is it you can't forget? Because you don't accept the person as he or she is. So they say to forgive and to forget. That's the trick of it all, right? Otherwise it's going to still hold you here. So how do you forget? You've got to forgive first. And what is forgiveness? It's really accepting the person. And you're not doing that person a favor, you're doing yourself a favor. Because that person has done what he has to do and moved on in life, but I'm holding on the baggage with me. Till such time that I truly accept the person, realizing that they will do what they want to do eventually. I'll try my best to help them out, but no, I should accept them. I can disagree 100% with them, but I don't need to reject them. Because if you reject them, then there's more resistance you're creating in your mind inside.
May I tell you something on that?
Okay, can I come to that? I'm just trying to be mindful of time. We just got about 10 minutes left, and then we come to some Q&A. Yes, is that okay? Or you want, it's relevant right now, right? Okay, go ahead, please. Sorry. Go ahead.
I read the other day, it's just a small verse. Unconditional love is accepting people how they are, not what you want them to be.
Wow, fantastic, very relevant. Accepting people as they are, not what you want them to be. That's the definition of unconditional love. Beautiful. So we got that. And remember, variety is the spice of life. If everybody was like me, this would be the most boring world that we can ever be in, yeah? So we love to have variety, so encourage it and enjoy variety rather than saying, oh, this person's not like me and therefore I don't like him. This person's not like me. Wow, I'm so happy. This person's so different. Enjoy that variety. Abundance mentality. There are two types of people we know, abundance mentality and scarcity mentality. Scarcity mentality, we believe that if you win, I lose. If you get a promotion, oh, I'm gone. If you get that praise and recognition, oh my God, I've lost something. If you're successful in life, something gone wrong with me. That's scarcity mentality, also called the crab mentality. Pulling down others. I pull you and I expect to go up. When I go up, somebody else pulls me down. I never go up. Scarcity mentality operates from that particular level. But abundance mentality operates from win-win. It's okay, you win today, I know that tomorrow my turn will come. I just need to focus on myself. You get a promotion, you're successful, I'm happy about it. Because tomorrow I would be that, to be my chance. So you accept everything that happens in their life, rather than you resist and you reject and you hold that grudge or revenge. Doesn't help. Abundance mentality. It's just about accepting people, accepting them, their successes, and as they are. Pygmalion effect speaks about an interesting concept that people, if you're able to accept them and let them know that they're doing well, then the possibility of them working, probably doing better is higher than when you start rejecting people and when you start feeling negative about anybody. And it's been a research that's done and also goes in corporate, in workplace. Managers have felt that the moment my subordinates believe that my manager believes in me, my manager likes me, my manager accepts me, their performance is far greater than if it would be when the manager doesn't like the person, or they realize that my manager is not very conducive in terms of he doesn't really trust me much. And of course, context. Let's say you change the context, you change the meaning, and you change the experience. So one good context in this world would be when you look at life, you can look at life in different ways as a context. We can look at life as a school. Many times we do that, right? Life is a school. You like that context? So then what are we? We're students. In life's a school, we're students. And therefore we are learning always. Everybody else are students, right? So if you come, and we're all students, I'm a student in life, and as a student you normally give examinations. You have test papers. So what are your examinations that you give in life? Challenges that people will pose at you, right? People come as a challenge. This person doesn't understand me, he's in this particular fashion, with very different behavior. That's a challenge to me. So what do? Look at the person as a teacher, because I'm the student. You're giving me the test paper. You are challenging me. You are my teacher. Now in school, how would you look up at your teachers? What's the sort of attitude you'll have towards your teachers? Respect, regard, and you really look up at them. So that's how you look at people in life who actually pose challenges at us. Wow, my teacher. Shifts the whole way you actually now project your attitude, because you just shifted the context of life. So that's to do with others and how you can start accepting them more, and therefore you feel much better. It's not about them, it's about, and therefore you can operate better. You feel more free, you feel more liberated, and therefore you're accessing, the access to everything that's inside is much easier. Because if you're having all those other negative things happening in your mind, and you're not able to access the true potential that is there, you're wasting your time. Another thing that we waste our time is on the past and the future. Because we get stuck. Situations, something happened, finished, and it's gone away, but I'm not letting go of it. Something is never going to happen, perhaps, but what am I doing? I'm creating it in my mind. They say we spend about 80% of our thoughts in these two areas, in those zones. Not a very good thing to do, not very healthy either, and does not allow me. So what do? You understand, appreciate, and accept the present moment. This is exactly what I have in my hand. I let go of the other two. I accept the present as it is. And I'll do what I can right now to ensure that I have the best future. What's done is finished. They say the past is a good place to learn from, not a good place to live in. So learn from it, but live in the present, and then create the future that you want. And interesting, yes, we could have situations which can be very severe, tough on us, but there's a good mantra, something that helps your mind to really let you go through those things. It is, this too shall pass. 4 words. But in a very, very magical sentence, because it's a fact. It's a fact, because the only thing that is constant in this world is change. Nothing lasts forever. And therefore, this too shall pass. There's nothing more true than that. So when you know that, you're able to accept everything that's in front of you today. Because you know that if it's tough, if it's very difficult, okay, this too shall pass. Is that okay? Okay, good. We have a few questions.
When you buying this
Sorry?
ticket, when you buying this ticket to Dubai?
Tickets to Dubai. You've got Qantas Emirates now. Very simple. If you just, I mean, our 2 homes have married together just so that we can keep exchanging each other. So please, more than welcome, whenever you want. If you're flying back on the 15th of July, you can join us.
How do you deal with someone that's constantly at you going, well, how can you expect to know, or you're negative, so that you constantly get this, you're a negative person, you're or whatever, and so therefore you get this constantly, your opinion doesn't matter because you're a negative person. Then you constantly get this at you. How do you then move past that to take on a positive attitude?
Yeah, it's interesting. This is where people many times say, surround yourself with more positive people. because then that helps you. Now, there could be situations where I cannot. The world, it's not that everybody out there is positive. We do come across a lot of people who could really throw in a lot of thoughts which are absolutely not true. Now, the first question is, do you recognize that that's a false statement that they're making at you?
No.
You think it's true?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I think that's where we need to step back and try and understand the self and start differentiating truth from false. The very fact that you don't like it proves that it's not the truth. For them, it may be, they might feel that way, but I need to really understand the truth for myself. And that's very important for me. And for that, I need to really go back inside and I need to really experience those thoughts, which I start accepting. So the shift starts by the fact that you reject the negative and accept the positive. When you start accepting the positive, then you experience it. And then you'll become it. So the whole ball game starts from accepting it. Accepting the truth, accepting the positive, because we intrinsically are positive. There's a good saying that there is no such thing as unresourceful people, there are only unresourceful states.
How would you respond to that person who's putting you down?
The more important response is not to that person. The first biggest thing is, how am I taking this first? And what's the response that I give to myself? Am I accepting it and taking that on? And rejecting what is the truth inside? Because it's going on coming. Yes, we are humans and there could be mistakes that we make, fair enough. So I look at myself as a detached observer and I say, okay, is there something I need to change here about myself that's creating that feeling in that person? Okay, I go ahead and change, if I can, as much as possible, change myself so that I don't make that person feel that way. But at the same time, that does not mean that I'm a bad person. That does not mean that that's a truism. The fact remains that I'm peaceful, loving, and happy, that I'm powerful, that I'm inside, that I'm a good, genuinely good person inside, and I want the good of everybody. That's the fact. You cannot see it, it's not my fault. But then I detach myself and try and understand, what can I do to maybe make it more visible? Why is it that he's not able to see it? I remember in the organization that I worked for, there was one person who was always against us. He was in the accounting department, and I was in sales. So you can understand how accounts and sales are, usually. So we always go with certain proposals, and he from the accounts department would just reject it, say, no, you can't go with that price, you can't do this, you've got to go with this. So he would try and, as much as possible, control the whole ballgame. But I obviously had this lesson with me, and I would actually accept him genuinely. And I would always look at him as a person who had all the resources, but probably he was undergoing certain states which are unresourceful. So I didn't reject him. I would have disagreed with him, but I would always go back to him with a space of acceptance. Therefore, internally, you can sense that your whole demeanor is very positive when you're acting in front of this person. And it's so turned that the whole sales department would always talk against this person. And when I would go to him over a period of time, he would actually start agreeing to what I'm doing and saying. And then I had nothing against him at all. And he would also have nothing against me after that. He would really be very cooperative with me. So it happens over a period of time. So the first thing is you need to do is you need to first, don't disregard them, don't reject them, accept them. But you can disagree with what they say. Okay. Thank you. Do you have a question? Time for another question?
Please.
Oh yeah, please. Simple, right?
Yes. In theory.
In theory. But what's wrong in making it as simple in practice?
Well, you need to have the knowledge of this before you can put it into practice. And now we have the knowledge, we can put it into practice.
Okay, then how will you do that?
Then I am.
Fantastic. I think I am. So we can go through an experience now. Yes, we can go through that experience.
Just talking about practice, what helped me a while ago in practicing the abundance mentality was just to sit down each day and just think of several new areas that I was grateful for.
Wow.
And boy, you can't stop. There's hundreds and thousands of new ones every day, every week. If you want to go through your life and spend the time. But even if you just find 2 new things every day to be grateful for in whatever area,
pretty soon the abundance is coming out of your ears.
Beautiful.
Well said.
Very, very well said. And I think that the attitude of gratitude is so, so important for us. And when we start doing that on a conscious level, you actually make note of everything that you're grateful for. Wow, you feel great. And well, of course, we're going to be speaking about meditation, how meditation would help you really to go inside, and on a very subconscious level, you're able to understand that you are. Yes, that's how you're going to actually start feeling. And you do it over a period of time. Because anything you do for 21 days becomes a habit. So practice this over a period of time. Do that over. So you wake up in the morning. The first thing you do is what? Run to the toilet, rush there, wake up the kids, do this, right? It's not a way to jump for the coffee. Not a very interesting way to start the day. Wake up with gratitude, lots of gratitude for you being able to wake up that morning. Thank God for this beautiful morning. It could be a Monday morning, but wow, what a beautiful Monday. Difficult. That's easier to say, oh wow, thank God it's a Saturday. Whew, lovely Sunday. Oh no, not a Monday. Right? Now don't fall trap. It's your thoughts again. You got to really create. Look forward. Generate those beautiful thoughts, those good ideas inside you. Be grateful for every single day. Grateful for people. In the night, it's good to have a journal, a gratitude journal, just thanking people, thanking God, thanking yourself for things you did. And also nice to see what you can do tomorrow to make it a better day. So it's a nice way to end your day with that, a great way to start with some good thoughts, positive thoughts. Take time for yourself. Sit with yourself. How much time do you spend with yourself, everybody, on a daily basis?
Not much.
Not much. Most of the time busy helping other people, but very less time for yourself. But you can give to others only what you're full of. And if you're not spending the time to charge yourself in the morning, you're going out to work with a very weak charge on your mobile phone. Just imagine what's going to happen to you. You do not charge yourself enough. So charge yourself in the morning, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We will learn now what we're going to be doing in the morning, how we meditate. And of course, the center is here. Many of you come here before, so just spend more time with yourself in meditation. Yes, please.
I've been coming here for 7 years, and the thing that I've found is that our conscious mind's so connected to our ego, and that self-gratification issue, that finding the discipline to stay focused on remembering who you are takes a lot of discipline, a lot of discipline. And it's easy to use triggers to go back to experiencing your soul, because there's lots of triggers that can make you instantly feel it. But it all comes down to the discipline.
Discipline of those triggers, discipline of the
No,
waking up in the morning.
The discipline of remembering who you are.
Yes.
And making time for that. And not getting caught up in frivolous, shallow things.
Absolutely.
But remembering the really important things. It's hard work. It really is.
I like that word, discipline. And that's what the morning discipline is very important, because that's the time usually that you will catch yourself being free. So I'm not speaking about the time that you wake up, which is the usual time. So you need to really wake up a little earlier. Little. So if you wake up at about 6 o'clock, a little earlier, maybe 3:30 in the morning. I'm joking. Well, so 15 to 20 minutes earlier. Is that possible? Just 20 minutes earlier than usual? And that time you spend with yourself. That's the time that you actually create the best thoughts you can about what I am, who I am. I am peaceful. Go through that experience that you just went through a minute before, and what you're going to experience again. So that's the experience that you need. You need to be able to spend more time doing that, and that demands discipline. That demands that you sleep on time. That demands that you sacrifice some of the television programs that keep you up till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and that you wake up very late. So you need some of the disciplines. Yes, please.
My question is, how can we manage to accept the big mistakes? Big. So it's not that easy.
So small mistakes, big mistakes we've made, and therefore what is the acceptance? Well, interestingly, you understand, and that's not just your case. Many of us usually dwell a lot in the past. Things are done, finished, and gone off. But what's the lesson I've learned? It's important, again, to take that lesson on board. So you commit to yourself that I'm not going to do that again because I've learned this lesson. And when you do that, you then start accepting things as they have been, recognizing that there must have been a reason. That lesson was what you learned with that particular event. It was a huge mistake you made. That was a huge lesson I learned.
And then I don't have to repeat it.
Yes, you don't have to repeat it. So if you've learned the lesson from that, you can let it go. The importance is to learn a lesson.
But you need to find ways to forgive, forgive
Not
yourself
continue
or
to
something like that.
repeat
You
negative
must forgive yourself. Otherwise, you will never forget it.
self-destruct.
Just 1 second, I had somebody here.
I was just going to say, when you've made a mistake, and you can go into doubt and think that you'll do it again,
Yes.
because it's happened maybe a couple of times. That's what I find sometimes, not all the time, but so then I think,
So then if there's a pattern of mistakes that I do, then probably you have not, or we have not, understood the underlying thread or the real cause. So it requires a little bit more soul searching to find out. I thought that was what was the problem, but I can see something probably bigger there. So what is that lesson I need to learn from this? It's going to help me to not do that again. All right, so that's time up. Thank you.
So when can we hear you again? Are you giving lectures here during the week or?
No, I would be leaving. We're going to Sydney tomorrow. So you have something happening there for the youth. We'll be back next week. And then we have another retreat over here. So we'll probably, when I fly in next, we'll be very happy to do that. Or when you fly to Dubai. Sorry? Okay, so let's just try and have a few moments of meditation. We've got an experience of really acceptance. So we'll start with you taking that thought which you all took, that one virtue all of you have. So let's bring that to your mind. And as you sit and relax your bodies, you breathe in and breathe out. Deeply once or twice. It's time to relax the mind now. And relaxing the mind or silencing the mind is all about recognizing your true self and bringing to the surface of your mind your true qualities, your intrinsic qualities. So to begin with, bring to the screen of the mind your quality that you thought of earlier. Review the meaning of that quality. What does that mean to you? Include the symbol or the picture that you thought of. And slow your thoughts. Keep that quality close to you. Accept it unconditionally. This is who you are. Always. Realize that you are the master of your thoughts. You always have a choice. Choice to accept whatever you want. So from today onwards, after knowing the truth about the self, as peaceful, as loving, happy, and powerful. I accept these and I bring them to the screen of my mind. I am peaceful. Deep down inside, I feel serene, calm, and easy. I've always had this inside. I used to experience them with certain triggers. But today onwards, when I know that I am peaceful, and when I know the meaning of it, and when I know that inside I am serene and calm, I experience it. I feel it. I become peaceful. There may be other thoughts that come to the mind, which is okay. But I choose to think, and I consciously keep my mind with me. Similarly, I can experience happiness and love inside. I am happy. There's nothing I need from outside to feel this way. I have everything inside and within me, and I have a million things to be grateful for. There's so many things I'm blessed with, and I am happy. I am loving. I look at everyone around me as beings of peace, love, and happiness. And I accept everyone as they are. Although I may not agree with them, I know that they all have reasons for doing what they do. And through that acceptance, I sense the energy of love flowing through me for everybody, unconditionally. I am powerful. I have the power to choose my thoughts and my feelings. and my outcome. I choose acceptance. Nothing can make me feel peaceless or unhappy without my permission. So I choose to be powerful because I am. I hold these values in my mind, knowing that this is who I am. Peace, happiness, love, power. I hold on to them as I continue my journey. I keep remembering this every day as I wake up, and as much as possible through the day, so that over a period of time, I don't need to trigger myself. Become very naturally